Yeah. So I got the page up here.
Go ahead and we're live.
That's
right?
going on the intro.
I don't know how to do an intro.
A lot of logistics work, optimization, stuff. A lot of probability and statistics and math kind of all work into that.
On a program called Chocolate
Yo,
University.
Winston, how did you get those quads of yours?
I lived in South Korea for about 8 years.
Nobody saw that coming. That's gonna be on the intro. Nothing against people who smoke pot and skip class. That's how we lost a whole bunch of episodes.
I just studied in Dubai. I was going around with one of my friends in his
I got a
Lamborghini.
bad feeling about this.
Hello and welcome to the Lifr Podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's going on the intro. I think I'm about making an intro where all I say is that's going on the intro. Hello, welcome to the Lifr Podcast. This is episode 5. Today we don't have a guest, so we are the guest.
Yep.
And I've been slacking a bit. As you can tell, I have a dislocated shoulder. So that's fun. But yeah, really it is. And so we have episode 3, 4, and this is 5 recorded. You guys will probably see this one in about, 5 business-ish days. And 3 should be up tonight. 4 will be up on Sunday. What's today's date? I don't have my watch on.
9th.
Today's the 9th, so expect episode 3. They're not going to hear this until the 16th. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
That's going on the intro. I think I'm about making an intro where all I say is that's going on the intro, because I've said it 6 times now.
Yeah. There's pretty good stuff that you can do on there.
Alright, so today I'm going to ask Zan some questions. I don't know, he might ask me some questions, and we'll just see where it goes. So, primarily it's because you guys don't know who the fuck we are.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to let Zan go first. Zan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Alright, well, let's see. I'm a sophomore.
Look at me. Look at me.
I'm a sophomore at the University of Arkansas, studying industrial engineering and economics with a math minor. From Kansas City originally, and then I work for Wilson Coker currently, but you know that. And then I also work as a resident assistant in Founders Hall. I started a running club, and I'm on the Volunteer Action Center board. That
This pen doesn't work.
Pretty much covers all of it.
Do you have a pen?
I can find one. Yeah.
Pen difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so tell us a little bit about industrial engineering. What is it?
Okay, so industrial engineering was, I kind of found out about it when I got here because it's not as well known as chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, obviously. But what it is you take all the engineering, math and programs that are run, and you use them in business practices. So whether that's optimization techniques or ways to make your business run better. So it's a lot of logistics work, optimization, stuff, a lot of probability and statistics and math kind of all work into that. But the reason I chose it was just because it was the most the IE that was most related to a career in business.
Yeah, okay, so you want to end in a career in business, not really engineering.
Business is where my interests lie more, but I have the background and the interest in math and science to pursue. So
what level of math did you take before you got to college?
So, I'll run you through it real quick. In high school, I started with pre-calc, and then I took Calc BC as a sophomore, which is Calc 1 and 2, and I got a 4 on that AP test. And then my school was pretty different because they offered Calc 3 and linear algebra, and so I took those junior year, and then I finished with AP statistics senior year. So I took up through linear algebra going into college.
Okay, so how close were you? What do you need for a math minor here?
So I took linear algebra and Calc 3 in high school, but there's no way to get college credit from that.
Because
bullshit. The high schools don't usually offer that, so there's no way to certify.
Is there an AP test for it?
No.
See, that's bullshit.
Because it's almost never offered at the high school level, because most high schools get up to calc, and then that's usually where people cut off.
Yeah, no, there was some people who did it at my high school, but they went and took Cal 3 at the community college because it was literally right down the road. Yeah. So halfway through school, they'd just walk out and go take it and then come back. Yeah,
and really, I don't know if that was. They never mentioned that as an option, but that would have been a smart idea to get that done.
It may have not been. It's just that the community college and the high school where I went to school, it's Bentonville High School and Northwest Arkansas Community College. So they're a 3-minute or 4-minute drive away from each other.
Yeah.
And so they already have Comp 1 and 2 college algebra and finite math offered to basically any student. So there's a lot of dual enrollment.
I'm not sure, like, even if I would have taken it at college, I don't know if, like, the credits would have transferred, because no one really does that. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I had to redo those when I got here. So I did Calc 3 first semester, differential equation second semester, and discrete math last semester. And so I'm just 3 credit hours, or linear algebra is the last class I have to take to get that math minor.
I've heard linear algebra is a bitch.
Yeah, I have a friend, her name's Audra, and she's a freaking genius. But she's in it right now because she's finishing the math minor this semester, and she said it's pretty rough right now.
Yeah, no. General question here, you probably don't know the answer, but right. So I'm a second semester business, or I'm a second semester sophomore in business. But after this semester, I'll have 80 credit hours.
Yep.
If I switched to a math major and dropped all else, could I still accomplish it in the last 2 years? I have credit through survey, so I'd have to take Cal 1, 2, 3.
Cal 1, 2, 3, discrete, differential equations,
Yeah.
linear algebra, and that's what gets you the minor. That's 6 classes right there.
Well, I could do that in 2 semesters.
Yeah, I'm saying you could get the minor in 2
Yeah.
semesters, but I'm saying then you have to get the major. You have to add 5 more math classes on top of that.
I might be if I dropped all my other majors.
Possibly. But like
my credit hours would cover all my electives.
Yeah, but the issue you run into is, like, to
Prereqs.
take Calc 2, you have to take Calc 1. To take Calc 3, you have to take Calc 2. To take differential equations, you have to take Calc 3.
So the best way to do it would probably be get into an 8-week course for like 2 credit hours for Cal 1, the second part of the semester, then take Cal 2 and 3 over the summer.
Yeah.
I might. I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, business is really easy to learn by yourself. So that's also industrial engineering.
Having the math minor definitely makes the business classes easier, because at least in micro theory, which I took with staff this year, we spent probably 3 or 4 classes going over a first degree integral, and I was just sitting there like, I've learned this millions of times almost.
Yeah.
And like all these junior and senior level business students are like having their heads explode over what the fuck is a differential equation.
Yeah, no, that's what my brother said, because my brother had a math major, and he got that done by the time he was like a junior.
Yeah.
Like after his first semester of junior year, he was done with his math major.
Yeah.
And so like his second semester junior and senior classes for business were just like the easiest thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was thinking about, getting a math minor, because in theory I could have the math minor done by the end of next year easily.
Yeah.
If I took summer classes. And
I mean, you really have to ramp it up. But I mean, like, realistically, a math minor is not out of reach at this point.
Yeah, well, it's also a good idea just to have.
Definitely.
I mean, because, I don't know, a lot of business students go for accounting minors, but I feel like as an accounting firm, I'd rather have somebody with a math minor.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, accounting is pretty, like, nothing against accounting people, but I think it's going to be out of business in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because you got a whole bunch of computers now.
A whole bunch of computers.
Okay, so what are your plans after college?
See, that's where I'm not quite sure yet. I got quite a few options that I'm looking at. Trying to keep some good options open. Realistically, I'm not going to go to grad school in engineering. I know that for sure. That's basically, you get there and you just sit in a lab and do research. You sit on a computer and do research all day, and that's not what I want to do. So there's possibly looking at a job after college, whether that's with an engineering firm or in a business practice. I'm not quite sure, but eventually I'm going to go to graduate school.
For what?
So that's another thing I'm trying to find out. That could be economics, that could be business administration. I'm not really sure yet. I'm hoping like these next 2 years of classes will make me figure out like what I'm more passionate about in the business world.
Have you thought about anything for computers?
Not really. I'm taking my programming class right now, and it's going well, but it's not something I'm passionate about. It's not what I want to do. But I've actually started thinking about other programs and like public policy and other options, because I'm heavily involved with the Volunteer Action Center.
Yeah, what do you do for that?
So I'm on the board there, and there's 6 teams on the Volunteer Action Center board, and they so the one I'm on is called Engagement, and it's just in charge of helping students on campus get involved with volunteer opportunities or service opportunities in the Northwest Arkansas area. So in the fall we put on Make a Difference Day, which is like, we had, I think it was 1,200 volunteers from the University of Arkansas come out and had like a kickoff ceremony, and then they all went to different service projects around the area. And I think it was like just like a shit ton of hours, because like all those 1,200 people did like 4 or 5 hours, so we were like 50,000 hours of service or something. 5,000 hours of service.
I need to get 10 hours before the end of the semester. Unless I'm dropping out, which
well, I can find you those.
Is something I need to figure out pretty soon. But there's a lot of other shit. I've been working on a lot of certifications. Yeah. But
well, no, I mean, so that's why I've started looking into like public policy, because I talk to these people and they're like, it's a really good way to combine like my interest in economics, and I got introduced to a guy that was engineering undergrad that's doing it now, and he's like, it's a great way to combine like find better ways to do engineering, more sustainable practices and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, well, a lot of public policy right now is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So they need people who know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. And see, like that's the thing. I have interest across the board, whether it's in business or in engineering, and I have the background to go pretty much any direction at this point. So if I can find a way to combine all of them, then that's the goal.
Yeah, okay.
But I am planning on going for some kind of graduate school scholarship. Like I know Zach was on here and he was talking about the Rhodes and the Truman.
Yeah.
And those are definitely things I'm looking at as well. My resume is very different than Zach's in terms of that, because he obviously is a great candidate for because he works, like he goes overseas and he studies abroad a ton, and so he learns from that. And mine's different because I find most of my opportunities on campus, but I also go abroad as well. Yeah,
well, I mean, that would also give you connections to some people may be able to pull some strings. Yeah. Because, I mean, you don't get one of those scholarships without pulling some strings. Yeah. And so, okay, but as far as abroad, you mentioned abroad, you have been to Mozambique and you're going to Belize this summer.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about, we talked about Mozambique on episode 1, if anybody wants to go look at that. And then also we do have a SoundCloud. I'm not sure how many people know, but it's soundcloud.com/Lifr Podcast.
There you go.
The first 2 episodes, 001 Zach Smith and 002 Mark Aranabar are on there. And then part of this one will probably be on there. Additionally, we're going to introduce highlights, because that's some of the feedback we've gotten. And so those will be short 10 to 20 minute clips, just the highlights from every single episode. And then maybe every 5 episodes have like a 30-minute highlight of the highlights. And so can you tell us a little bit about the motivation behind going to Mozambique, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and then Belize as well?
Definitely. So pretty much when I arrived on campus at Arkansas, one of the things that was pushed super heavily, like when I was going through the scholarship process to get the fellowship, was study abroad opportunities at the university. So I showed up on campus and I'm like, I'm gonna study abroad, whether it's in the spring or the summer or the next fall, and what's that opportunity going to be? And I got an email about Mozambique from one of my professors. I went and talked to the guy that runs it. I can't remember his name right now, but he works with Dr. Farmer on the Mozambique project trip, and he goes every year, except for he got in trouble this year for cussing at the football game and wasn't allowed to go.
Wait, that's what he got?
Yeah.
What? That seems kind of stupid.
Yeah, apparently he was like cussing at the other team or something, but apparently it was a huge misunderstanding, like when they explained it to us. So I don't know, but he's Dr. Nally, that's what his name is. He works in the agriculture department at Arkansas. Super cool guy, but he didn't end up going. But he's the one who told me about the program, and just pretty much instantly I was like, this is a incredible opportunity. And so I applied for scholarships, and I got, I think it was like $3,000 from the Honors College to go.
Yeah, what's the total cost of that trip?
That one, it's one of the more expensive trips. It gets up into $7,500, I think, for the, and it's, I mean, it's only a 3-week trip.
Yeah.
Most of that just comes from the airfare. Like, it's $3,000, which is what the scholarship I got was, pretty much went straight to my airfare.
Yeah, because especially if you get travel insurance and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's tough. I know, because when I went to when I went to Vietnam, for some reason my airfare insurance was more than when I went to London.
Yeah.
I forgot the exact numbers of both, but
yeah,
it was something like it was double as much for Vietnam.
No, it's yeah, that's the annoying part. It's just like $3,000 just for the plane ticket, and then obviously they have to keep us like safe and stuff, so that we have to pay for security and everything. But overall, I mean, it was a great trip. I liked the project I worked on. It felt very impactful for the community. I liked the people that I worked with. I met really interesting people on that trip, like Zach, who I got to room with for the course of that trip, and definitely would go again. I think the only thing I found in that trip that I didn't like was there was no really freedom. Like we were like either working on the site or we were back at the hotel, and we couldn't really leave the premises of the hotel because of safety issues.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good place to be wandering out at night or even during the day.
Yeah.
Because the university obviously gets held accountable if anything happens. So I think that kind of reworked my thinking for like where I wanted to go next, because I know like after traveling I was like, I want to go somewhere else next summer, and summers are the best time really for me to study abroad, because it's hard to work both my degrees into a full semester study abroad.
Yeah, what's your second degree? I don't think we ever touched on that.
Economics, yeah.
Economics, okay.
So I recently just added that one as a full degree and not a minor. So I was looking for. I really liked working with Dr. Farmer in Mozambique. So I was talking to her about the opportunities that she knew about, and she mentioned Belize, which also had a 3-week program like I did in Mozambique, but the one I'm going to is the 8-week program. So pretty much all of June and July I'll be in Belize working on a similar project that combines my engineering design work with economic like decision making.
Okay. Can you touch a little bit more on that? Like, what specifically will you be getting into?
Yeah. So that's that we had a meeting last week for my project for everyone to learn about their projects, and essentially what it is a lot of these projects revolve around poultry, because Arkansas has such a good poultry program that we often send poultry students, and poultry is really big in these developing countries because it's so low cost and high in protein, which is what helps out people that don't get to eat as often as we do, right?
Yeah.
And so the project that I'm working on is works around chickens, and it's something where families with a small amount of money can start their own small poultry farm in their backyard. They created a handbook for it last year, and I gotta get this to stop going off.
I feel that.
And so they created like a handbook for these families. So it tells them like price, how to set it up, and how to grow these chickens in their backyard so they can then sell them, eat them, whatever they decide to do. But it's a source of income for them, because most of the time they're going to end up selling them. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is take what the work that they've done, because the people who have done the work were all poultry majors. They're more concerned with like how the chickens are raised, like what's going on there. And I'm gonna work more on like the building of like the pens that they're staying in. Okay. So it's a lot of like how do you optimize the space that the chickens have? How do you put the right number of chickens in the area? Like more like looking at specifically engineering problems behind like that they have with these pens and stuff.
Okay. And one thing I just want to mention briefly. Is you might look into, it would be completely changing the project and be a shit ton of work, but it might make good for a good thesis, would be to introduce insects as a form of food, because just the maintenance cost is so low. I'll send you I took entomology with Professor Wiedemann spring of 2017, and I've remained in contact with him since then, and there's a lot that you can do with insects, and it takes a very small amount of space, and they have very low maintenance, and like each insect doesn't have that much protein, but when you add it up, it can make a big difference, and they could use that also to feed them. I don't know, what do chickens eat? I don't know shit about food.
It's mostly corn.
Okay.
Some kind of cornmeal.
Yeah, okay.
Combination. But the interesting thing, like kind of going off that, when you said thesis, is like the good part about this, like working with Dr. Farmer, Arkansas is kind of implementing this new idea where these projects that we work on overseas, like or on service projects like this, work out to be our thesis, and it's not like your typical thesis. Like I'm not gonna have to write like 100 pages or whatever of journal reviews. Like I'm not gonna have to collect too much data. It's gonna be more like what I did and then a reflection on what I did, because I think this is a really cool policy. And Dr. Farmer touched on this in our meeting. She was like, we have so many students that are just writing like journal reviews, which are important, but after a certain point, like kids are writing the same thing over and over again. They're reading like just general like business stuff, and the university's not getting anything out of it, and the kids aren't getting as much
well,
out
you can
of it.
also get access to the old ones, and it's a grade too, so you're looking to get the best grade possible, and so you're looking, okay, well, if I copy this, I'll get an A. And so that's a lot of the problem there. But if you make it a thesis, you can't really copy anybody's.
Well, so she said like it's just kind of like the university has come together and they've said like kids are going on these really cool experiences. Like I'm there for 2 months. I'll get to do incredible work. It'll change me as a person more than doing a literature review. So like I'm still gonna have to write something on this. I'm gonna have to have like a tangible product, but it's not as much like work as like a typical honors thesis would be. But it'll count just as much for an honors thesis.
Okay.
Which is cool for me, just because it means I won't have to do 2 theses my senior year.
Yeah. Okay. So how many credit hours will you get for this?
It's between 3 and 6. They're still trying to work. Like she knows for sure it'll be at least 3, and she's trying to work on it to where it'll be 6. So I'm gonna realistically it'll count as my thesis writing credit for my economics degree, and then I might be able to petition for it to be counted as like one of my electives for industrial engineering. Yeah,
it probably should. So will you be actually redesigning the pens? Like, will you actually get to see, are you going to do that through a computer, or are you going to do it through like a physical process?
So yeah, these are the things that I'm going to have to research leading up to it. I still don't know too much about the project. I'm working on getting like the manual that they've created from last year's team. And then kind of looking to where to move forward from that. And that's something like to talk to Dr. Farmer about, and then it's going to be a lot of just work once I get down there, like research work and stuff like that. But pretty much, I mean, that's all I'm going to be doing while I'm down there. It's not going to be like I'm at school and trying to do classes on top of it. It's like that's where all my time's going to be.
Okay, so you're down there for what day do you leave? Do you know?
I think it's like June 4th.
June 4th, and you're there through August, basically.
28th of July, pretty much, because I'll probably have to be back for RA stuff.
Okay. So yeah, you're an RA as well. How'd that process go?
So, that starts pretty early, but I mean I knew the RA in my building, your RA actually, or Wyatt, pretty well, and he told me about it and that he enjoyed it, and so I applied. And so you apply with just a general written application, and then you have your one-on-one interview, and then you have group interviews, and then they hire you. And so I got hired in Founders Hall, and I'm enjoying it right now. I'm not the best at like creating programs and that kind of goofy stuff, but
it's kind of weird stuff.
I mean, if you ask me, like I think it's a large waste of money.
Yes, definitely.
We're putting so much money into this, and kids rarely come, and if they do come, they're not getting too much out of it. And so I mean it's kind of frustrating too, because like I'm in like a meeting for RA for over winter break, and she's like, we have all this money to burn, and I'm like, literally this is what students are paying for, and you're just talking about getting rid of it.
I've been in some meetings for that for some other organizations that it really just pissed me, because I'm leadership in a couple organizations, and I'm vice president of membership in the Walton College Finance Association, which isn't an RSO, and just the way money is spent in the Finance Association versus the RSOs I'm in is completely fucking.
I'm sure.
The Finance Association, like they send people on trips and shit like that, and I mean it costs like $1,000 per person, but they don't waste money on anything else.
I mean it's just annoying, because I know there's so many things out there that like there's improvements that could be made in the dorms. There's meals that I don't know. There's so many different ways different things this money could be going towards, and it's just going towards like really like it's the RAs are just buying a shit ton of stuff, like whether it's prizes or food, so people will come to these average events.
I don't even remember. I don't think I've ever been to one.
I don't know. It's kind of annoying to me, but I mean I like living in the dorm. I like
well, you have a good spot too.
I mean I got lucky in Founders, but I mean I like the guys on my floor because they respect me, but they also they'll talk to me. They're not like scared of me. And then like obviously the pay is.
Yeah, you're gonna do it next year.
That's the plan. So I'm hoping to come back to Founders just because obviously Founders is nice. But realistically, all the guys are trying to come back in Founder. All the guy RAs are coming back, and they're supposed to spread out returners among the different dorms. So I might get moved, and depending on if and where I get moved, could change where when I'm coming back.
Yeah, no, because there's some dorm locations that are pretty shitty. First off. And then there's some other ones that are really far out of your way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, if I wasn't in Founders, I probably wouldn't be an RA.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're in the quads, maybe.
Yeah, the tough part, like Maple and quads are super nice.
So
but
far.
You have to deal with so much stuff too, because people throw like ragers in their
dorms
because they're like huge.
Yeah, that's also because Founders they're
just normal. Two-person dorm.
They're bigger than Hots, though, aren't they?
Yeah, because they have a sink.
We had a sink in London, and I drank out of that sink every fucking day.
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice just for like little stuff too, like food and snacks and whatever. But I was trying, like, I have to go through, and she has like some form I have to fill out where I rank where I'd rather be. Like if I couldn't be in Founders, and literally I'm just gonna be like Founders, and then like Yoakum and Humphreys, which are right there too, just because location is a bit nice, and then maybe like quads, and then just put like Pomfret in last.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. Pomfret has good food, depending on your schedule.
No, they're redoing the Pomfret dining hall next year.
That's
so
fucking
I won't
bullshit.
even be there.
Oh wow, yeah, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't. No.
Because they want to have the Pomfret dining, because they're opening a new dorm literally right next to Pomfret in 2019.
Jesus.
Because they had 500 or something more students sign up for housing this year than they had rooms.
Yeah.
So like kids are literally still living in.
Well, that's because you have the freshman requirement.
Yeah.
Which I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. You also have colleges growing at a pretty crazy rate.
Yeah.
And to me, alright, fuck it, I'm going off on a rant. College is fucking a waste of time. This is why. No one hired out of college has ever been ready for the job they're hired for.
Yep.
College costs a ridiculous amount of money. Everyone has a college degree. If anybody can argue those 3 points, like, roast me. But good fucking luck. Because I get that you have to have a college degree to get a job, and I think that's what needs to change. Because if you had somebody go for 4 years, right? Let's say you want to work in business. Let's say you just go intern at a business for 4 years. They don't pay you, but you're not spending $100,000. You're going to know a fuck ton more than somebody who comes out of a college degree with even multiple degrees.
Yep.
Especially for that business, and you're going to know how stuff works. That's why internships are important. Alright, that was a short rant, but that's it.
There it is. We'll probably let you go on more of a rant when we do your interview.
Yeah, okay. What else you want to talk about? You want to tell us about your life, anything?
I can talk about the running club.
Yeah, talk about the running club.
So the running club is something I started because, I was on the triathlon club last year, which is a university recreation sponsored club. So it's kind of in between like an RSO and a D1 program, right?
It just has more funding, basically. Yeah. More consistent funding.
Yeah, and it's like UREC sponsored, so you can use the facilities and stuff like that. And so some programs are like rugby and hockey are really like good and travel through UREC support and have like, they get almost treated like D1 athletes, but just like a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And then... So I was on the triathlon club, which was a UREC sponsored one. I enjoyed it, but I pretty much found myself just wanting to run more than anything. Like biking, I can bike and swim, but I didn't enjoy it as much. And so I'm like, hey, I know there's other people like this on the triathlon club that just enjoy running, so why don't we just start a club? And so we went through the RSO, like created a constitution, went to meetings, and created our RSO. And we have about 60 to 70 people in the group chat average.
How many people show up?
But that's the thing, is we get like 10 people to 15.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good participation rate.
Yeah. mean, I still would like it to be higher, but realistically, what I wanted was I just wanted people to run with, because running by yourself is boring.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And especially if you're doing it every day. And so I'm like, if I can get people out here, even if it's 3 or 4 people, like not running on my own.
Yeah.
It's pretty
So
cool.
can you go through the setup, like how often you run, how far do you run, what time?
So right now, I'm kind of training for Bentonville Half, which is in early April. So I run every day at least 2 miles. That's something. So that's actually a cool thing I tell you right here. So starting junior year of high school, I did this thing where I ran 2 miles or more every day. And so I started that junior year, and I finished last year. I ran 1,000 days in a row.
Okay.
2 miles or more every day. And I had to stop because of Africa and safety issues and flights. But I was pretty proud of that, because I mean, running every day for 1,000 days obviously shows strong commitment, and was something I was pretty proud of. And then I didn't really do it this past semester, because I was like, oh, it's over, like I'm just gonna run when I want. I just found myself not running as much, and so I started again in December while I was home over break, and I think I'm at 50 or so days again now. I'm just gonna keep going as long as I can. But I run at least 2 miles every day, and right now I'm doing about 40 a week. So it's usually in the afternoon, about 6 miles, and hoping to get up into 45 before the half marathon.
Yeah, and does the running club have like consistent meetings, or is it just somebody sends a message in the group chat? And just...
no, so we have practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday morning.
Okay.
And then there's a workout put on by a local running company on Thursday nights at a middle school in the area.
Okay.
So.
And how would someone, if they wanted to get involved in the running club?
So my email, I can link it. We can link it down below here. But it's akj020 at york.edu.
Put Lifr Podcast Running Club in the subject.
Yeah, and so you just send me an email, and I can add you on we're on HogSync, we're on Instagram, and we're on GroupMe. We have a GroupMe.
What's the Instagram tag?
The Instagram, I want to say it's run.uark, but I can check that really quick here. Yeah, so I mean, we're looking to, our Instagram's pretty average right now, but we're looking to, run.uark, and it's just Arkansas Running Club.
Okay.
So if anyone's interested, and eventually the goal is to get up into that university recreation sponsored team, but we have to be an RSO for a year or 2 before that process happens.
I hate regulations.
I know, it's dumb. Well, because realistically, like I know at KU, which is right by where I live, they have a really solid running club, and they have they're sponsored by their university recreation, and there's meets across the country that you can go to and race in.
You may look, if you have some good runners, I'd say if you have at least 4 good runners who are doing, at least, I mean, at worst 5 miles in like 30 minutes on a flat track. So this isn't like, but I mean, like, cross country, 5 miles, 30 minutes. You might look into outside sponsors, because I know Nike is really big into doing running clubs, and I'm not sure if they have one in Fayetteville. So you'd have to, I don't know if they do it just for universities. You may have to open up to people from outside the university. But you could still be a RSO and just be linked to an outside organization.
It's true.
Because they'll actually like give you like a banner and stuff and like a website.
Yeah.
So you may look into that.
Yeah.
And then if they don't do it, just go to Adidas and Under Armour, because they all want to piss each other off.
Yeah, and I might look into something I've thought about is there's another running club called the Mustache Running Club, and it's pretty big. They usually have about 30 people. They only practice. I think they have practices every day, but I think they're at 6 a.m. or something. So those practices don't get as much. But I'm thinking about talking to them, seeing if they want to do like some kind of partnership.
Yeah.
But I have to check like the regulations on the university side.
Yeah. And then also I'm sure like Rush Running and some of the companies they have one, because right by my cousin's flat in E1 in London, there's literally, you walk downstairs and there's just like a Nike sign posted there, and it's not related to the business, but it helps the business draw in a whole bunch of customers.
And so, I mean, talking to them about partnership, because like Rush Running is super cool, and I know people there, but they're sponsoring the triathlon club, so gotta find another sponsor.
Yeah,
but
interesting.
Looking to just keep moving up. It's a slow process, but it's something I'm passionate about. So
well, it's good because right now I don't think there's many RSOs that people are interested in, and people need, because I've had a couple trying not to name anybody here, but I've had a couple seniors email me for the Finance Association or WISE or the IBC, and they're trying to join a club.
Yeah, just got something on their resume.
Like, you're about to graduate, man. You already need to have a job lined up.
Yeah.
Fuck clubs. Like, if you don't have a job lined up, good luck.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Because, there's jobs that require you to have an internship after college.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the ones I looked at when I was in London, just like browsing around looking at jobs in case I want to go back there after I graduate.
Yep.
And a lot of them, you contact them your junior year, and you have a summer internship.
Yep.
And what they do after that, going into your senior year, they offer you a 1, 2, or 3 year internship after you graduate.
Yep.
And then according to what you're doing, whether you're doing investments, real estate, or something after that, they may sponsor you to go get some, like an MBA or something, and then you come back for a full-time job.
Yep.
So, basically, if you're not, to get that job,
You have to.
4 years down the line,
Yeah.
you have to have it lined up your junior year
Yep.
of college. So that's why it's important to get good grades your freshman and sophomore year.
And get involved freshman and sophomore year, because you're not going to get those internships without having something on your resume.
Yeah. Are you involved in any other clubs?
Slightly.
RA and
yeah,
stuff like that.
But I'd say, I do, there's the Engineering Honor Society that I'm in. It's called Industrial Engineering Honor Society right now is the only one I'm in, but I'll probably be in the General Engineering Honor Society as well. But besides that, I don't think there's any that I really participate in.
Okay.
Because, definitely running club takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And RA and then VAC all take up plenty of time.
What's VAC again?
That's the volunteer one that I was telling you.
Yeah. I get weird with acronyms, and I don't know, they fly over my head, because I for some reason, I just assign something one name, and then if somebody changes the name at all, it just goes over my head.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's probably a good place to wrap up yours. So that's
solid.
That's Lifr Podcast, episode 5, Zan Johnson.
Yeah, now you know more about one of us, and we'll have to get, whenever we can't get another person out here, we'll just do Winston's interview so you can learn more about him.
So expect this sometime next week. We're probably having Nathan Murdoch on next Friday as well. He's an MMA philosopher / professor / genius. He's beat the shit out of some people. Very good YouTube videos. If you want to see some undercard MMA fights where it looks like it's a skinny guy versus somebody who's totally outmatched, and the skinny guy just knees the guy in the head about 50 times, Google search Nathan Murdoch. But all right, so that we'll wrap it up here. Still don't have it. We thought of this. Probably nobody's gonna tell me how they feel about it, but it's the Lifr Podcast, real conversations, real people. We still haven't figured out an exit for this. Actually, let me plug something here. We have a code for 2 free audiobooks for any of you people through Audible. And I'm pretty sure they give us money, which is kind of sick. So just throw like 20 different emails into it and use our link. It'll be in the description below.
Thank you for listening to the Lifr Podcast. Check out the links below for more information.